What's up, YouTube? Oh, wait, wrong video. Sorry. Hey, science class. Mr. Jensen here again. Video number 2. And what we're going to do is continue on with our project here with moon phase illustrations. Now, you saw a little different. I colored my Earth and I colored my sun. I know, my perfectionism's taking off. But it looks good. It looks like it's a good little kind of flow going here. Kept the moon kind of white. Could be kind of gray because that's the color of the moon. Next part says, what does the moon look like from Earth's perspective? Illustration perspective. What does the Earth look like from Earth's perspective? Or the moon look like from the Earth's perspective? So on this one, we're going to look at it using a little technique I want to show you. And so in class, this will work for you. But first thing I want to do is I want to mark all of these with numbers. And I'm going to start 1 on this moon right here. It's where the sun, the moon, and the Earth are in one big line right here. This is our first phase, and we call it our new moon phase. This one would be 2nd, and 3rd, and 4th, and 5th, and 6th, and 7th, and 8th. Yes, we still are going to go around in a counterclockwise motion. So no matter what, we're still sticking with that counterclockwise motion in relation to our diagram using the northern hemisphere at top, like we have been using with our seasons. And so I'm just going to put arrows just to show that movement like that, so that anybody looking at this will go, oh, I get it. It moves in that direction. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take number 1 here. I'm going to put a number 1 down here, and a number 2, and a 3, and a 4, and a 5, and a 6, and a 7, and an 8. Because I'm going to add the perspective, not from outer space like we see here, but when I'm standing on Earth looking out at the moon, it looks different. What does it look like? Well, you could take one of our ping pong balls that we have, put a piece of tape on the bottom of it so it sticks, and you can place this right over the top of one of these Earths, or one of these moons. So I'm going to go to number 1 right here. You see how the light side is on the left side from this perspective? I'm going to just line up my ping pong ball exactly like that. Like that. Blends right in. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to look from the perspective of Earth. So I'm going to have to get down probably low, maybe on my desk or something. I'm going to just tilt this thing up. From Earth's perspective, the view that you get is right there. Can you see that? It's a complete circle, and the whole thing is dark. If you were to look down from Earth's perspective, it would look like that. Okay? So I take that, I come down here, and I draw my circle. And from our view, the entire circle is dark. So I'm going to shade in this entire circle right here, because the whole thing is blotted out. Let's go a little faster. There it is. And we have to name this. Now, the very first moon phase is just a new moon. That's what we call that. It's our new moon. It means we just started our whole phase of moons. And it starts in that position there. And from our perspective, it looks like this. Now let's try the second one, number 2. I'm going to move this right over number 2, like that. So it's right over the top of number 2. And then I'm going to move this again to look from my perspective of Earth. So I could get down to the edge of my desk. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. I just lost my camera. Great. Oh no. Sorry. Let me fix my camera. Sucker. Stay. Don't move. Good camera. That's embarrassing. Okay. So when I look at this thing from the perspective of Earth here, look at how it changes from the perspective of Earth. I now can see on the right-hand side a small bit of light. So I'm going to draw a circle. I'm going to draw like a little half that we call a crescent. It's going to look like this. I'm going to draw my circle. And I'm going to draw a little crescent shape like that. And then I'm going to just shade in the left-hand side. Mr. Jensen, there's light coming in from the right-hand side. You're right. What we're starting to see from Earth is a little bit of the lit side of the moon. Because the angles are changing, the changing angles of it, we're seeing a little bit different amount of light from Earth. So as we're looking from Earth, we start seeing a little bit of that lit side front. And just a portion of it shows up. And because the light is on the right, we're going to use the word waxing, like this. And then we're going to use the word crescent, like that. It's a waxing crescent. And just a little bit of light on the right. Okay, let's move it to here. I switch to my perspective, like this. And I look from Earth, and boom, that's what I see. The light is on the right, and it's right down the center from Earth. So I take and I draw a circle. The light is split down the center, and the left-hand side is dark, like this. Okay, let's go to number 4. First of all, though, I need to call this first quarter. Well, quarter. And the reason why is when I split this thing up into this section right here, that is 1/4 right here of my circle. That's a quarter of it, 25 cents of it, 1/4 of it. So that's why the first quarter of it is called a first quarter, because of this section right here. Now I'm moving on. I draw my circle and I say, all right, what does it look like from number 4? I've been adding light to the right, so I've been waxing on light. I look from Earth's perspective, and it looks just like that. Okay, so a little bit of darkness on the left. Most of the light is on the right. So I come down here, I draw just a little crest like this, and I shade in the left-hand side. Right there. I'm adding light to the right, so this is a waxing gibbous. Move it to number 5, right here behind. I look at this view here. Oh, I've seen that before at night. That's a full moon. It's fully the lit side right there. So we'll call this a full moon. Cool. Let's go to number 6. Lining it up again. Light side on the left, dark side on the right, just like all of them are. And then I look from my perspective on Earth, and I see that right there. Just a little bit of the right side has a darkness coming on it, but most of the lit side of the moon is still showing to us on Earth. So I take and I draw my circle, and just a little bit of the right side is starting to show the darkness, the back side of the moon right there. Like that. And this one now changes from waxing to waning. And because it's almost all the way lit, we're going to use that same gibbous word, waning. Waning means light on the left. Waxing means light on the right. So when the light is on the right of the moon, we use waxing. When the light is on the left of the moon, we use waning. Okay. Let's draw a circle, move this to 7, and let's just pick this thing up. Look at it from perspective of Earth. You can already kind of see it, but it looks like that from Earth's perspective. Looking straight on. So I just draw a line down the center, and this time it's on the right-hand side that we have the darkness, which is the opposite of the last one. And so I just shade in the right-hand side, like that. And this one I call a third quarter, because, again, there's the first quarter, second quarter, or half, all the way to a third quarter now. I've gone 1 quarter, 2 quarters, 3 quarters. Or sometimes we call it the last quarter, because you're into the last fourth left, right there. So a third quarter, last quarter, whatever one you want to pick for your name works just fine. All right, we're on the last moon phase right here. I look at it from the perspective of Earth, and it looks like that right there. Ooh, cool. A little bit of light on the left-hand side. Okay, so from Earth's perspective, it looks like this. And there's a little bit of light on the left-hand side. So I'm going to take my marker and just paint on the darkness to the right, like that. And this one is not a waxing, it's a waning, because it's light on the left, and it's a crescent again, a waning crescent. Now you're done. You've got all the moon phases from the perspective of how we see it on Earth right here. The numbers are matching. So if I go to number 3, it looks like this from Earth, but it looks like this from space. What? They're opposite. I know. Because you're looking at it from Earth's perspective. So you'd have to spin it around and pick it up and look at it from this perspective. And that's why it's the opposite. All right.